Okay, welcome today to our professional development session number 1. Today we're going to be discussing curricular priorities and their effect on success. Our objectives today are to identify current curricular priorities as they relate to students and explain the importance of developing curricular priorities for our students. In this session today, we'll have an introduction activity. We'll be doing a think, pair, share activity where we will define what a priority is. We'll determine exactly what curriculum priorities are. We'll take a look at what should be in our jar of life. And then we're going to follow up with setting our priorities for our students and ourselves this year and wrapping up with a question and answer period. So my questions for you today are, what is a priority? And what are some curriculum priorities? This quote here by Stephen Covey, I think, is very important for us to reflect upon when we think about our priorities. We need to make sure that what matters most is what's coming first. Our Jar of Life activity, we're going to take a moment to watch this video. When we finish the video, we're going to come back and look at some questions. In the video, the sand, the pebbles, and rocks represented things in your life that don't really matter, they somewhat matter, and absolutely matter. When it comes to education, we know reforms center around curriculum and instruction to meet performance indicators for our students. Most studies have established current curricular priorities in high school that are focusing on creating more college and career-ready students as determined by curriculum and assessment alignments to Common Core and higher enrollment in honors and AP courses. But it lacks the dimension of critical consciousness as a curriculum outcome to ensure cultural society capabilities. We must recognize curriculum is not just shaped by academics. We must offer students the opportunity to learn in environments that are culturally diverse where we can develop skills necessary to acclimate to societal founded principles. This pie chart represents some of the top curricular priorities in today's educational arena. Notice that all of them are not related to academics. And as you see, that once again, curricular priorities are those things that are most important to developing and improving the curriculum for the students, just as priorities in our own lives should be those things which are most important to us. Priorities to promote success for students. There are 3 main ones that I've found within my research that I've done, and they are non-academic in nature. Showing students you've got their best interests at heart. This goes from establishing a regular routine in your classroom to making sure they understand what's expected of them and that it's modeled for them. There shouldn't be any questions as to whether or not they're doing the right thing. Become a facilitator, not a dictator. This is so important in this day and age to develop those skills that students need for college or career. Show your students you care. I can't impress upon you enough how important this is, especially in this day and age where so many kids are facing so many more tragedies than we could ever imagine in our lifetimes. Learn your students. Find out who they are. Ask them what they like to do. Ask them what they did over the weekend. What is their favorite subject? Try to figure out how you can incorporate their likes and interests into your own lessons. Let them know who you are. Let them know about your interests, and that's going to enable a relationship to start taking place where students are going to start showing even more respect and more interest in you and wanting to do well for you. It's also important to be vigilant to the needs, their well-being, and their behavior. Excuse me. It's so important that kids nowadays feel safe in their environments. As teachers and as school as a whole, we need to make sure that the students, from the moment they walk in the doors to the moment they get on that bus and leave for home, that they are in the safest environment possible. Meeting their needs is not only academic needs. It could be a student who you know their family is having a financial issue, and you go to the counselor and ask them, hey, I know so and so, this is the situation, you might want to touch base with them and try and work some stuff out with them. And that goes back to showing your students that you care about them. Let them know, I'm going to see what I can do to help you out. Being able to influence a change in students' social skills prepares them for becoming productive citizens. Expectations, again, that we have for students must be clearly defined and managed. This will encourage intellectual engagement and respect. Knowing your students help you design lessons that connect and have meaning to life. Why should we choose these priorities? The development of soft skills motivates students to start achieving. Motivation determines, directs, and sustains what students do. We have an important role in helping students become self-directed learners by developing self-awareness. Furthermore, our ability to meet students at their current level and work with them to develop social, emotional, intellectual skills can go a long way to improving their learning. In conclusion, I would like us to take some time to hear what John Hattie, a researcher in education, has to say about factors influencing success for students. You may be just as surprised as I was to learn that it's not the academics and what we think needs to take place in our classroom, but rather how we are treating our students and how the students perceive us as teachers. Thank you.